What's up, y'all? Another Truth Talk with Michael, Michael Krug, CoachKrug.com, board certified health and fitness coach. And today I'm doing a mini training actually about a topic that came about from some of my ideal client interviews that I did in March 2022. And I think this topic is just really important for everyone, especially if you're trying to go through a health transformation. And that is understanding self-esteem as well as how to not care as much when people make comments or say things or do things that you feel like impact you. So it's a challenge, I will say that. Even myself, I'll start with my story, and then we'll go into a couple different points about these topics. But so when I was 20 years old, it was 2012, and there was one day, it was July 4th, 2012, and I remember it's because it's the same day when the Minnesota Wild, big hockey fans, so they signed Zach Parise and Ryan Suter to the contracts that we now know didn't really work out. Anyway, I was super pumped, and I was pretty heavy at that point. I think I was losing weight at that point. I was probably like 360, maybe 350. And I just decided, this is when I had started my health journey. And I decided that day I was going to just walk around the streets of St. Cloud without a shirt on and with a hockey stick and a tennis ball. And I had this realization moment that it didn't really matter what anyone thought of me. Like, yeah, maybe someone would take a picture or video and, whether one's up online or not, I just didn't give a shit anymore. I was like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I had at that point realized what I needed to do to change my health, or at least I thought I knew everything. Long story short, it took me a while, but that's a different topic for a different talk. And so I'm walking around and I'm just shooting this tennis ball. I'm hitting stop signs. I'm shooting it up in people's yards. I'm just making friends with people. And all the while, me being a pretty heavy guy, society would tell me not to be confident in my body, not to be confident in what I'm doing, right? Like doing something that's relatively athletic as a guy that size isn't necessarily like a thing that's shown very often. But it's fascinating to me because in that moment, I think I uncovered something that was really important to me in my progress going forward, which is that there's not some change I have to make or something that I have to do or some way that I have to be for me to be more confident. My confidence really is just an understanding that doesn't matter what other people think, and as long as I'm doing my best and I'm working towards my overall vision and goals, that my confidence is going to just be a part of that, if that makes sense, right? So for me to really just focus on doing what I want to do and enjoying myself, and also, obviously not causing harm or hurting anyone else in this way, or I'm just walking around. I realized in that point that self-confidence is more or less a choice, and that allowing other people to impact us with their thoughts or their ideas, because on social media and on the internet it comes up quite frequently. It's really a choice, and it sounds maybe cliche, or it sounds like, yeah, well, X, Y, Z, but at the end of the day, we have control over our actions and our reactions and our behaviors. And when something externally comes at us, we have the opportunity to internalize it and to create a story around it, right? So like, let's say, for example, I have a lemonade stand, and I'm selling lemonade, and it gets towards the end, and some of the lemonade's diluted, and someone comes and buys some lemonade from me, and then they have it, and then they go behind a computer and they say, oh my gosh, this guy sells the worst fucking lemonade ever, 1 star, fuck you, Michael, your lemonade sucks. I have the opportunity in that moment to either A, believe what he said and internalize it and think, okay, I suck at making lemonade, or B, I can inquire with him and his experience and say, I'm so sorry. I had a lot of other people tell me that the lemonade was good. I'm sorry that you didn't think my lemonade was that great. What can I do to make it right? Do you want to try lemonade in the future? Do you want to refund? Whatever it may be, when we are faced with something that can potentially deplete our confidence, or from an external situation that someone attacks our self-confidence, the best thing to do is inquire and understand what is actually being said. What's the lower level message? Maybe that person was like, I don't know, a 5-star Michelin lemonade or lemonade person. They're like all about lemonade, and they have tried some of the best lemonade ever. So maybe it's an opportunity for me to recognize maybe I can make my lemonade a little bit better. But at the end of the day, the words they said and what they spoke, it's not going to impact me. I have the opportunity to, again, internalize it, believe that it's the truth, or I can inquire about how can I improve or be better or change my ways, or maybe that person's just an asshole and it doesn't really matter and they're just, having a bad day and they decide to take it out on me. So that's kind of when it comes to confidence, what I have to say, and just recognizing that everyone has a story. A lot of times they externalize their story, and just because they're saying or projecting some energy or some message towards you doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Now, the second piece of this talk, and I don't want to make this too long, is self-esteem. And really what I hear when it comes to self-esteem is belief in yourself to be able to do something. And we actually have pretty solid evidence for ways that you can improve this. So the biggest way to improve your self-esteem and to really just, again, just to increase your confidence as well, but also to just feel like you are able to do the things that you want to do and to feel good about yourself, is to start doing them, but really small. So for example, ones that I always come back to are nutrition and exercise. So if you are currently not exercising at all, start by going for small walks, right? Just set yourself out, commit to do something, make a goal or an experiment around it, and go do it. And make it really small, something that you can accomplish. Like, I'm gonna go for a walk to the end of the driveway and back, right? You accomplish that, and you are subconsciously telling yourself, like, oh, I told myself I could do something, I went and did it, I accomplished it, and I feel good. That in turn is going to raise your confidence in doing more things. It's going to raise your self-esteem because you have an understanding like, okay, I can do this. And it really comes down to this thing that I talk about with all my clients. You've probably heard me talk about it if you've heard any of my talks before, but that's self-efficacy. So I have the ability to do things that I set out that I want to do. So you start with walking to the end of the driveway, then you walk to the end of the block, then you walk to the park, and then all of a sudden, you're going for 6, 8, 10-mile walks. And you didn't get there right away, right? Because a lot of times with self-esteem, it's because the things that we are not feeling great about, it's because it feels like it's far away or it takes too much effort to accomplish. We really need to just start small and piece things together bit by bit. So that's what I have when it comes to confidence and self-esteem. I understand there's a lot of other concepts and ways to approach this, but just from the people I talked to, the reason I'm making this mini training is because these were some of the specific topics that came about. So again, I'm Michael, CoachCrew.com. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, until next time, keep inspiring. Thank you.